Good morning, everyone. Yes, this is Final Cut TV and Coffee. We're just going to, you always see my guitars in the background. Hold on one second. I have to turn this off. Where is that? You always see my guitars in the background. I figured I'd let you listen to them just for 10, 15 seconds. This is my baby. This is my 69 Strat. I love this thing. It has Seymour Duncan quarter pounders in it. And this is the guitar that I've written most of my original music on. So this is Final Cut TV and Coffee. And we're going to do some maintenance. And then we'll be right back. And we're going to have a Final Cut Creative Summit pre-show. We'll be right back in a few minutes. There, we had a blue screen there for a second. So, if you tuned in early, you got a little bit of I played a little bit of guitar for everybody. I've been playing guitar since I've been a little kid, a long, long time ago. So, I may start these sessions with a little guitar thing once in a while. So, we're going to talk about this is the most important thing. Ben says he loved the dark natural finish. I'm sitting here watching you from my recording studio, so appropriate. G Video Soft, Video Edit. Hello, Richard. I got to get my glasses adjusted. Good morning, Richard. I would ask them, the Final Cut Pro team, what is the roadmap for Final Cut Pro going forward? And our friend Alista from Jamaica tuning in as well. Fantastic, fantastic. So we're going to take some of your questions that you might have for the Final Cut Pro team. Here's the way it works typically. We're going to Apple Spaceship Campus, the park, the big circular donut thing where you see all the videos are done now. We're going there on Monday after lunch, and we're likely going to get a presentation from the Final Cut Pro team. Very likely. That's what typically happens. They give us a presentation. It will be at that time whether there's going to be a new version of Final Cut Pro at the summit, or they could preview a new version of Final Cut Pro. It's hard to tell, which would likely be Final Cut Pro 10.7. Final Cut TV and Coffee. So Monday afternoon is when we'll most likely get the idea of whether there's going to be a new version of Final Cut Pro, which would be Final Cut Pro 10.7. I mean, it wouldn't be Final Cut Pro 10.6.11. That would be kind of silly. So I expect it to be Final Cut Pro 10.7 if there is an update. Intellectually, I think there is going to be an update. But I'm not basing the summit on my expectations. I'm going to the summit to see my friends. All the Final Cut Pro people from around the globe are coming to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Around the globe. We got 3 or 4 people, 4 people from Australia. Our friends, our Aussie friends are coming. We got people from all over Europe are coming. Of course, all over the United States. I don't know other countries that are going to be there. My expectations are to have a good time at the summit, exclusive of if there's a Final Cut Pro update. I'm going to take the Final Cut Pro update possibility and push it over here. Over here. I am not going to let that influence my enjoyment of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. It did in 2019 because in 2019 I was expecting 10.5. Well, 10.5 didn't come out for a year after the 2019 summit. So we didn't have anything new for 2019. We did for 2016, 17, and 2018. I'm hoping 2023, the next in-person summit, we're going to see Final Cut Pro 10.7, but that's intellectual. That's what I'm thinking based on how things are going. But like I said, here's the Final Cut Pro update possibility. I'm pushing it over here. It's not going to be part of my enjoyment of the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. If it happens, I'll be overwhelmed with joy, regardless of what it is. No matter what happens, when Final Cut Pro 10.7 comes out, it won't please everybody, of course. But it will please me, just the fact that they put it out during the summit. But I'm going to enjoy the summit regardless. I'm going to enjoy the summit regardless. All my friends are going to be there. The Final Cut Pro team as well. I mean, you have to realize that I predict no new Final Cut Pro at Summit, maybe December, likely early next year. Here's what you're missing, Eric. when they introduce a full number update, which 10.7 is a full number update, they always introduce it at one of two events: Final Cut Pro Creative Summit and the Apple Mac event. All the full number updates have been introduced at one of those two events. Well, we just had the Mac update, no Final Cut Pro 10.7. That leaves the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Now in 2018, they gave us a preview of 10.4.4, which was a big feature update, but it wasn't released until December. I'm saying all these things are coming together. The fact that full number updates, a point full number, have always been introduced at the Creative Summit or a Mac Apple event. They just don't come out randomly in the middle of the week with a press release. That's not what they do. The other thing is 10.6 came out 2 years ago in October, over 2 years ago. The average time between full number updates is 19 months. So we're past, thank you very much for the thumbs up, by the way, appreciate it. We're past the time that it normally takes between full number updates. The only exception was between 10.4 and 10.5, which was 3 years. That's the only exception. I am not predicting that we're going to see 10.7. I am hoping we're going to see 10.7. Intellectually, I say we're going to see 10.7 based on all the evidence of things that have happened in the past. I'm just going to say we're going to see 10.7 at the summit or a preview. But if it doesn't happen, it's not going to ruin my enjoyment of the summit. That's my point. Intellectually, I would say yes. Based on evidence that I've collected, yes, we are going to see 10.7. Am I predicting it? No. I'm not predicting it. I'm going to let things happen as they may. I'm going to enjoy the time. If they show 10.7, the crowd's going to go nuts. The crowd's going to go nuts. There's going to be hundreds of people there. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Monday to hear what's new. Still have a little hope in Final Cut Pro. I have hope in Final Cut Pro too. Although the Mac event, they just, Final Cut Pro, we'll push it over here. It was very, very bizarre. They hardly even mentioned Final Cut Pro at the Mac event. But remember, the Mac event is to sell MacBooks, MacBook Pros. People who have Final Cut Pro already have MacBook Pros and Macs. They're trying to sell, I think, to new people. That itself doesn't really bother me that much. Let's see what the summit produces. Let's see what the summit produces. Now, I'll be heading out tomorrow, Sunday, to the summit, and I'll be broadcasting. I'll start broadcasting Creative Summit videos on my YouTube channel, well, you know, Richard Taylor TV, tomorrow afternoon from the airport, because I get to the airport 2 hours early, get through, whatever that system is they have, and then I have 2 hours to wait till the plane. So I'll sit down, relax, and I'll fire up the old either iPhone or my MacBook Pro, and we'll start specifically reporting about the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Any predictions on what may be in 10.7? Informed or wild guesses? I'm not wild guesses. It's just common sense says they're going to have text-based editing with auto captioning. I mean, everybody has it. They've got to have that. They're so far behind with that. And that would help a lot, because now I go to Resolve to get auto captions, or I go to Descript, or I use Whisper, whatever that app is. Final Cut's the only major NLE doesn't have something like that. So I think that would be the big feature. Other features, possibilities, a roles-based mixer of some sort, that's long overdue, better audio controls. Some people want collaboration. I don't know how that would work with Final Cut. We'll have to see. That's a possibility as well. But I wouldn't use collaboration right now. I would have used it in the past. That's not a big thing for me. However, it is a big thing for a lot of you. So therefore, I want it to come to be available for everybody. I'm not one of these people. I've seen these people that are grumpy, Final Cut Pro grumps, and they puff up like a bullfrog when you ask for something that they don't want. And they say, I don't want Final Cut team working on this feature because I don't want this feature. I see those people sometimes. There's a few of them out there. Ignore them. Ignore them. That's what I do. I want features that everybody wants, even if I personally don't want them or won't use them. The more features, stable, of course. People say, "Oh, I don't want bloat." Listen, number one thing is every update should be better, stable, and faster than the previous update. That's with all software, not just Final Cut Pro. On top of that, that's part of their job. They should always make it that way. On top of that, new features are overdue based on the last 4 years. So here's the deal. Monday, we are going to there's some hotel we're going to. Let me pull that up real quick. We'll go through the schedule while you're here. While you are here. So here's the schedule. Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. By the way, if you haven't registered, you will not go to Apple Park. Apple Park registration ended Friday at 9 a.m. You can no longer get into Apple Park. Just FYI. Dates and locations confirmed. We're at the Hyatt Regency Santa Clara. You have to check in. You have to get your ID badge. Well, we got iJustine. It's going to be the keynote, one of the keynote speakers, of course. And she's been there this will be her third time, if I'm not mistaken. So we're at the Hyatt Regency Santa Clara. And then this is the program. Keynote session with iJustine and Nick Haraz. iPad production and editing experience, producing high-quality YouTube content. That's nothing that I'm really that interested in since I don't edit on the iPad. And I'm not planning on editing on the iPad because I'm not planning on buying a new iPad, and my old one doesn't work. LumaFusion works fine on it. LumaFusion works fine. LumaFusion also works on my iPhone. It works very well on the iPhone. So I'll be using LumaFusion, not iPad. I'm just not that interested in Final Cut on the iPad. Final Cut Junior, we call it around here, Final Cut Junior. Then we have a lunch break. Lunch break. And Future Media is providing, they're calling them box lunches for us, everybody. So we have a box lunch at 11:45. An hour and 15 minutes later, shuttle bus to Apple campus departs. Once we get to Apple, there's this organization, they will tell us some things. You can't take pictures of our employees. You can't video our employees. That's one thing they're protective about, I know. And anything else they may tell us that we can't talk about, don't know. We don't know until we get there. The Apple Park and visits happen starting at 2 o'clock, and they go to 4:45, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Then we go back to the motel. If you want to go to Apple Park Visitor Center to get some swag, you can do that. And then we go back to the Hyatt Regency at 5:45, 6 o'clock, something like that. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up already. So that's Monday. So Monday at approximately 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we should know something if there is going to be an update to Final Cut Pro. We should know at that point. Hopefully, we can talk about it. They've never in the past told us we could not talk about a Final Cut Pro update. There's other things that they might say something about. Luke says, I can't travel at this time of year. Shame. Is there a virtual day like last year? No, there's no virtual event, virtual day. I don't know what they're going to do as far as recording. I will be recording. I will be broadcasting short segments live. I'll try to do 2 or 3 a day from the summit itself. I mean, the thing is, the big news will happen on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday, we should already have the news. So it won't be any breaking news on Tuesday or Wednesday. The news will happen on Monday in the afternoon. If there is news, I'm going to enjoy myself regardless, like I said. I'm going to enjoy myself regardless. I'm not counting on Final Cut Pro 10.7 to be part of my enjoyment of the summit. That's not the case. So news will happen on Monday afternoon. After that, Tuesday and Wednesday are normal course of business things that are happening. Let's go back to our schedule here. So Tuesday and Wednesday, panel discussion at 9 o'clock. Warp speed editing, let's grade together, all these sessions. You got to choose one of the 2 sessions all day. Sessions, tip session, making media inclusive for all, accessibility. Networking Expo Night is a really, really cool big night. Very, very cool. All the vendors are there with plugins. Ceramonic was there last year. Black Magic was there last year. Of course, all the plugin manufacturers are there. Premiere wasn't there. Adobe wasn't there. I don't expect them to be there this year. But Black Magic was, Ceramonic was there, LumaFusion was there, all kind of people associated with Final Cut Pro. Especially, look, at the Apple event, Apple thanked Black Magic for their iPhone app because they used it to film that event. That was very, very cool. So networking event is Monday. By the way, I want to put these up. We have sponsors. Final Cut TV, Final Cut Pro Radio has sponsors. I'm going to put these up. Coremelt and Hedge and Future Media Concepts, FMC. All of those companies help Final Cut TV get to the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. They help in many different ways. So these 2, Coremelt and Hedge, and we'll be interviewing them during the Expo night, right? Let me see, how do I do this? This goes over here, this goes over here. I'm doing everything backwards. Coremelt and Hedge will be, there are sponsors for they're sponsoring Final Cut TV, Final Cut Pro Radio and Future Media Concepts, FMC as well. They are as well. We'll leave them up there. I love Final Cut and use it for all my projects. I'm also versatile in Premiere Pro, is even teaching it at university, but I hate it. Just hope there's any sign of future, otherwise I'm switching. A lot of people have said they're switching. They're switching. You don't have to switch. I use Final Cut Pro as my primary, DaVinci Resolve as a close second, and LumaFusion. Those are my 3. And I go back and forth between the 3 depending on what I'm doing and what I feel like. Do I feel like editing on my iPhone? Okay, well, I can't edit on my phone with Final Cut Pro. Doesn't exist. But I can with LumaFusion. I don't know if DaVinci Resolve is on the phone. I know they're on the iPad. So this LumaFusion, I will be editing some of my videos on my iPhone at the Creative Summit, the short, quick ones. With how much they are working together, it's beyond time to have native B-RAW and Final Cut Pro. I agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. But they've been working together for a while. Remember the eGPU they had a couple years ago? It was Blackmagic eGPU. Final Cut, the Apple promoted that. So there's no reason why they can't work together, Blackmagic. Well, they have. They have. So one of the things I was a little bit surprised about, and I bet you somebody else was as well, is when they did the film of the Mac event last week, Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. At 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night, whatever the heck it was ridiculous. There was no reason for it to be at night. It was night, I guess, when they filmed it. Maybe that's why they wanted to pretend it was part of the filming at night. They used the Blackmagic camera app, a free app, a fantastic, fantastic app. It's my main app that I use now. Not Filmic Pro. Filmic Pro is nowhere to be found. They used the free app, Blackmagic camera app. I can't say enough good things about it. Here's the reason I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be doing a lot of filming on my iPhone 15 Pro Max at the Creative Summit and live streaming. Now, live streaming, this doesn't affect it because I can't use the Blackmagic app for live streaming. I got to use another app for it. With the native camera app, I can record to an external SSD. I also can record ProRes log, Apple ProRes log, internally to the phone or externally to an SSD. With the native camera app, the only way I can record to an external SSD is ProRes log, Apple ProRes log. That's the only way that I can record to external SSD with the native camera app. And I can only record ProRes HQ. Can't record regular ProRes, can't record ProRes LT, only ProRes HQ. It's a very, very high quality, high data rate footage. Now, I don't want to record ProRes HQ from my camera. Regular ProRes and ProRes LT Apple log are what I prefer. Can't do it in the native camera app. You can do it in the Blackmagic camera app. You can record all the different flavors of ProRes, ProRes HQ, ProRes regular, ProRes LT, and ProRes proxy with the Blackmagic. And you can record all those to an external SSD. You can also record with the Blackmagic camera app. You can also record in H.264 and H.265 with Apple log. Something else you cannot do with the native camera app. No one uses iFilmic Pro anymore, do they? They screwed up with their subscription model. I agree with that. And one of their main people just all of a sudden left the company. He announced on Twitter this morning. He said, effective immediately, I am no longer working for Filmic Pro. I agree. At the core of it all, the real question is, what is the roadmap for FCPX over the next 10 years? I don't know. Well, first off, over the next 10 years, I expect it to be Final Cut Pro 11. I don't expect to keep going 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9, and 10.10. I expect them to jump from 10.7 or 10.8 to 10 to just Final Cut Pro 11. That's what I expect. And that one will be once again built from the ground up with all this stuff, and like they said when 10 came out. Like they said when 10 came out. So let me just show you, if you're not familiar, let me show you what I have. A 4 terabyte SSD that I record into. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up this morning. You're the best. I have this tiny, tiny 4 terabyte SSD Thank you very much for the thumbs up. That I record into my phone. I mean, my phone records into it. Let me show you. Now this is my setup. I use a Insta360 gimbal, but I'm going to show you the SSD. Let me put the cam link on. There we go. I'm going to show you the SSD. So that is a crucial, this way. That is a crucial 4 terabyte SSD that I'm recording into. And the thing is tiny. It's much smaller than the Samsungs. It's like a little square. It's 4 terabyte, and I tested it before I bought it. So that's the crucial SSD. But I am also recording high quality audio. You'll see here in a second. That's the cage that I'm using, the small rig with it has a cable clamp. So I'm recording also DJI wireless USB-C plugged in. There's the mic, the Sennheiser MKE400 mic. And they're all plugged into this Belkin 4-in-1 USB-C dock. So the SSD is plugged in. The DJI wireless mic system is plugged in, and then the microphone is plugged into one of the transmitters. This is all going into this Belkin 4-in-1 USB-C dock. I got the Belkin for a lot of reasons. It's all USB 3.2 Gen 2 for one, and it has a specific power. You can power the iPhone through that as well. So that's why I got that. And this is all hooked up to my Insta360 gimbal. That's what I'll be using. Now, I won't use it all the time. Some of the time. It gives me, if I record ProRes 4K ProRes LT, 4K ProRes LT, not ProRes HQ, but with Blackmagic camera, LT, that 4 terabyte drive gives me 26 hours. 26 hours of recording on that one 4 terabyte drive. Now, I will back it up. I won't trust that one drive the whole time I'm in Cupertino. I will back it up during the day or during the night. I have 2 other drives. I have 2 other 2 terabyte drives. We got some comments we're going to get to here. David says, I'm wondering if what we see as slow development is really a whole new editing method for Apple Vision Pro, Final Cut Pro 11 will be the future of immersive editing. There's a lot of people who aren't going to use that. I'm not going to be buying those $3,500 Vision things to edit. I like editing on my MacBook Pro. I would say the vast majority are not going to be using that system. So I don't want... I personally don't want them spending a lot of resources just doing the Vision Pro. Get a separate team for that. I'm not against it if you want to, but it's not for me. I'm not going to be doing that. So I hope they keep on developing. Final Cut Pro is an editor, NLE. It's missing basic NLE features. It's falling behind the competition. Text-based editing is one, a roles-based mixer is another. Do you realize that Final Cut does not have a volume control? In 12 years, there is no master volume control inside of Final Cut Pro. It's just that those kind of things are just really bizarre. And so Final Cut Pro 11 will never read libraries from Final Cut Pro 10 right. No, I hope they do. I certainly hope they do. Nice setup, we said, left my setup. That's what I'll be using some of the time at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. I have 2 or 3 different setups I'll be using, depending on what I'm doing. If I want to do something quick, thank you for the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up today. If I want to do something quick, I won't bring that entire thing, but I can just disconnect the gimbal with just the iPhone and leave the rest of it behind. It doesn't have to go with me all the time. It's just unplug one cable. I have a quick release plate. It comes right off. So that's but I want to record Apple ProRes log because I really like it. And I have 26 hours on that. I have 26 hours on that 1.4 terabyte, which I won't record 26 hours, I guarantee you. Might record something approaching 20, but not 26. On that 4 terabyte, and I have 2 empty 2 terabyte SSDs that I'll back that up to if I get close to filling it up. I'm not going to record everything in Apple ProRes log. There's no reason to, but I definitely want to record some. I bought the Samsung 2 terabyte T7. Yep, I have one of those as well. That's one of the ones I'm going to be backing up to. Luke says, personally, I'd be very happy if Final Cut Pro becomes a subscription model. I mean, I'd pay $300 software library run production company. I would not. I do not. That would be complete uproar if it became a subscription. Yeah, I think you're very much in the minority there. Now, if they offered a subscription as an option, the mistake companies made, like Motion VFX just recently made, they cram subscriptions down our throats. They do not give us a choice between perpetual license and subscription. Filmic Pro learned that. Logic did that. Logic, who makes all the plugins for recording studios, they came out one night and said, oh, subscription only going forward. There was such outroar over all social media. They reversed their decision in a matter of days or a week. Filmic has learned the same lesson. $49 is way too much for Filmic Pro. Listen, don't buy Filmic Pro. Don't subscribe to it. Just use the Blackmagic camera app. That's all I got to say. I subscribed to it when they reduced the price to $19 for a year because I buy all of the apps. I have every camera app that it's available to try them all out to see which ones I like. Right now, Blackmagic by far is the best for me, and it's free. Absolutely. Apple seems like always hesitating to overflow Final Cut Pro so it doesn't feel overwhelming, but it could do like Logic, or you open it and decide if you want a simplified version of all features. Absolutely. Logic has an advanced set of preferences. Okay, advanced set of preferences. I don't want a dumbed down version of Final Cut Pro. We already have that. It's the iPad version and it's iMovie. Okay, the iPad version of Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Junior, is missing 44, by my count, 44 things that the Mac version has. Okay? It's not to say it's not a good app, but it's not Final Cut Pro. It's Final Cut Junior. Okay? It's fine. If you use it and you like it, that's completely fine. I prefer LumaFusion by a large margin over Final Cut Pro on the iPad. Blackmagic camera app is the best in the moment. I agree. It absolutely is. And they're going to just go up from where they are. Why can't they allow for round tripping with motion? Good question. It'd be cool. Is it a coding or power use issue? They should be integrated and seamless. I would love it if Apple took the Blackmagic approach and had tabs. One tab for motion, one tab for compressor, one tab for Logic, and then one tab for Final Cut Pro. It is so cool the way that Resolve, you go from one tab to the other tab, to the other tab, to the other tab, do whatever you want to do, and your project just travels wherever it needs to go. You don't have to launch separate apps. You don't have to export XML that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't work. It's all tracked. Your project is tracked from tab to tab to tab. I agree. That I'd love to see that. Maybe they're doing that in Final Cut Pro 7. Who the heck knows? Final Cut TV and Coffee. If we don't get auto caption by Monday. Please ask the Final Cut Pro team if they even have plans to add auto caption in Final Cut Pro. I don't have to ask them. I'm sure that's happening. If it doesn't happen Monday afternoon Pacific, it won't be till after 2 o'clock. It won't be till after 2 o'clock. But as soon as I find out, I'll post on Facebook group, Final Cut Radio TV Facebook group, on my Twitter account. I won't do any live streaming because I'll be in the Apple campus. They won't allow any live streaming there. So let me show you one thing. As usual, I've made a list of let me turn this down a little bit. Oh, you know what? I can turn it down here. Let me see. Where is that? So I've made a list, Final Cut Pro Creative Summit Master List. So follow the latest news from the Final Cut Pro Summit. Just go to fcpx.tv if you're not on Facebook. But if you're on Facebook, you can follow along here. Follow the latest news from the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. Bookmark the page. And here is the main thing. This is the main group that you want to go to. I'll be posting here first. This is our Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Radio TV Facebook group. Just go to fcpx.tv and you can go right here. This is our Facebook group. Of course, we're broadcasting live. So this is it. So that is one of the main places you should go. I wouldn't like subscriptions too, but it would mean regular high quality updates. I would be immediately on board. They gave us updates. Without subscriptions. Final Cut Pro 10.0 to 10.4 had lots and lots of updates. Now, what I would prefer is just charge us for a major update. The heck with that subscription nonsense. Blackmagic doesn't have it. So far, Final Cut Pro doesn't have it. You would see a giant uproar if the Final Cut Pro team, well, not them, it would be Apple, if they did a subscription only. Now, if they say if you want to do a subscription, you can do it. If you want to buy it outright, you can do it. I don't mind paying the Final Cut Pro team for major updates. But the idea that the only way you can get a lot of features is through subscriptions is complete BS. Look at Blackmagic. Come on, look at Blackmagic. They do update after update after update after update. They have a free version and then the studio version. No subscriptions. LumaFusion, no subscriptions. They do updates. They do add-on things. I don't mind paying. We've had it for 12 years. I don't mind supporting, but not through subscriptions. No subscriptions. So thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. Let's go over here. So that's what's going on there. Let me go back over here. Here we go. So once again, fcpx.tv is the only thing you have to remember. Right to the main page, follow along with the latest news. YouTube, follow along on Twitter. You can donate. This goes to PayPal, by the way. I put that up now. You can donate PayPal. Buy me a coffee for the Creative Summit. If you don't want to go to PayPal, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee, buymeacoffee.com. Anyway, this is the stuff. There's Final Cut Radio TV. You can go there. This is FMC's official private Facebook group, but you have to be a Final Cut Creative Summit alumni in order to get in there. Here is also a private Facebook group. Now, this group is only for attendees of the 2023 Creative Summit. If you're going to attend the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, here's a private Facebook group. Once again, you can't join it. You can't see who's in it. You can't see the post unless you join. You ask to join, and then thank you very much for the thumbs up. You ask to join, and then we'll let you in, but you have to be going to the Creative Summit. The second private Facebook group is just for scheduling Uber rides, scheduling meetups, scheduling coffee in the morning, scheduling meals or lunch in the afternoon. That's where we will be scheduling things. It's a private group. It's got 2 or 3 dozen people at this point, maybe 3 dozen. It's not going to have that much more than that. It may have 4 or 5 dozen. It's for us to schedule. Hey, I'm getting up and leaving the hotel. I'm getting an Uber ride down to the main place. Who's ready to go? Let's split an Uber. Hey, we're going to meet up for coffee after everything happens at this place. Who's on board? That's all that is. That is specifically for attendees of the 2023 Creative Summit. That's the second one here. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there, of course. I have a Creative Summit playlist. Discount code. Once again, you cannot get in to see Apple on Monday, even if you got the discount code. There's the program. There's some of our things. There's our sponsors. Once again, Hedge, Cormelt, Future Media Concept. I put a documentary up. And if you want to, you can go to Buy Me a Coffee. It would be appreciated. Oh, server is down. Server is down. Let me see if it's up here. It's around here somewhere. Anyway, buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor, or go to my PayPal, richard@fcpradio.com. But the link is right there. Legacy versions allowed a fantastic round trip between Final Cut Pro and Motion. It absolutely did. FCP exchanged that. I doubt we'll ever see it again. Yeah, I don't see it, but we'll have to see. How much of Final Cut Pro's slow pace would be due to higher ups not allowing it for whatever reason? Yeah, that's probably something happening there. That's not the Final Cut Pro team's decision. Marcelo says, I'm from Brazil, and I love Final Cut Pro, the best editor. It's the first editor that I grab when I go to edit something. I always go to Final Cut Pro first. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. So my schedule is I'm going to finish packing. I have more electronics than I have clothes. Yeah, I got clothes for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, changes, shirts, whatever, T-shirts, socks, and all that stuff. Toothpaste, all that stuff. I got cameras, and I got rigs, and I got cables, and I got microphones, and I'm bringing 2 different iPhones. So my agenda is this. I will start broadcasting live tomorrow. I think I leave, tomorrow morning, East Coast time, sometime maybe 10:30, right this time, and I'll broadcast a short little video from the airport. Then I'll get on the plane, get to California, check into the hotel. Once I unload my bags and stuff, I'll try to do another short one. show you the lobby of the hotel everybody's staying at. Most people are staying at. A few other things. I'll show you that. Talk some more. Then I'll pick up. I might do one at night as well. I'll be doing as much live streaming as I can from the summit to keep everybody informed. As a non-spring chicken, I actually did that. Apple is infamous for removing functions. Early versions of iMovie had excellent audio editing features, including rubber banding on the timeline. Yeah, you know, we don't know what's going on, but it's been slow for the last 4 years. Final Cut Pro development. Yes, they had to do Metal 2. So did everybody else. Yes, they had to do Apple Silicon. So did everybody else. Blackmagic had to do it. Adobe had to do it. Avid had to do it. Everybody had to do those things. Don't use that as an excuse for why the development's so slow. I don't know why the development's so slow. There's a lot of people going in and out of the Final Cut Pro team. I know that. So don't know. I'm not really here to speculate on that. I'm going to the Creative Summit. I'm leaving tomorrow. And then I'm going to enjoy seeing all my friends, having dinners, coffees, bagels, talking to people, going to some of the sessions, interviewing people. I'll be interviewing people the whole time I'm there. I got 26 hours of 4K, 24p, ProRes LT, Apple Log available on that little 4 terabyte hard drive with the Blackmagic app. I can't use the Apple app, but I won't be filming the whole time in Apple Log. I will be filming some of it in Apple Log because I really like it. I'm taking my Lumix S5 Mark II X, which is an excellent low light camera. I'm taking that. That also, I'm recording that in Vlog, but that's a 6K open gate sensor, 6K. So I'll be filming that with that, some of the stuff. Get Randy Ubelos off the RV for 2 years and he can develop Final Cut Pro. Yeah, well, something's going to happen. Yeah, I know. Ubelos, yes. I met Randy in LA one time at the premiere for Off the Tracks. It was at LAFCPUG or LACPUG now. So everybody was there. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up. Ben says he likes that idea. He likes that idea. Very, very good. Very, very cool. So, let me see. We've been on for almost an hour. I'll stay on for a little while longer. Once again, our sponsors, Hedge, CoreMelt. Hedge and CoreMelt are two of our sponsors, and of course, Future Media Concepts is our other sponsor. Let me just go here. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do this. There we go. This one, buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. We already got some people buying a coffee. Absolutely. Thank you very much. We got people. I will be buying coffees. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. We got a lot of thumbs up today. It's really appreciated. You can also buy me a coffee, $5, $10, whatever you feel like. And I'll give you a shout out when I buy your coffee. And I might buy a hamburger and French fries and stuff. It just shows your appreciation a little bit financially. And it is appreciated. It is appreciated. I appreciate those things. I appreciate it. So, you'll be seeing a lot of me this week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. A lot of streaming. If you're subscribed over on YouTube, please continue to go over there and subscribe so you'll be notified. Why does Apple have to be limited to one market, YouTube and TT? Why can't they pursue multiple markets at once? Other LNDs developers do it. Why must Pro TV film market be ignored? It's not been ignored. Now, I can tell you this. This is something that I've been privy to. They have a lot of targets for Final Cut Pro. They don't have one target. They have a dozen or more different target markets for Final Cut Pro. Not one, not two. It's certainly not Hollywood, but Hollywood is one of the 12. Or say, let's just say 20. Let's just say 12. Let's say a dozen markets that they want to cater Final Cut Pro to. College, education, high school even, YouTubers, documentary filmmakers, other filmmakers, event filmmakers, people that do wedding videos. That's all fine. And Hollywood is also in there. But it's not primary, and it's not the only thing they're looking at. If they can add something, look, Hollywood clamored for dupe detection for years. 12 years it took to get dupe detection, okay? 12 years. But we finally got it. Now, the fact that Hollywood wanted it, does it benefit the rest of us? Yes. Yes, it does. Ben says, I don't see any results from Apple on the TV film front. I'm not saying that they did anything. I'm saying that dupe detection. How many people from Hollywood yelled about dupe detection? That's one thing, but I'm not saying it. It's Hollywood is a small segment that they're looking at. They're not interested in being the number one in Hollywood. Or if they were interested in that, they would have pursued it aggressively. They don't mind it being used, but they're not going to aggressively market all the Final Cut Pro stuff toward Hollywood. That ain't going to happen. Not as many as YouTube, that's correct. YouTube has more views than Hollywood does. It has more views, millions of views some of these people have. Don't you think it would be embarrassing for the event if the Final Cut Pro team doesn't introduce something new in the Creative Summit? I really hope Final Cut Pro team have something for us this time. I wouldn't say embarrassing because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm going to enjoy the summit regardless of what happens. But as I said, intellectually, I'm expecting Final Cut Pro 10.7. That's intellectually based on work, based on history, based on a lot of things. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Would it surprise me if 10.7 came out? No, it would not surprise me at all. Would it surprise me if it doesn't come out? No, it would not surprise me if it doesn't come out. If I had to place a bet, if you were sitting right here, I would say, let's make a bet. A coffee or a cheeseburger. I would say yes. I would take that bet that it's going to come out. But that's intellectual. If it doesn't come out, I'm not going to be my expectations just haven't been moved. They're down here. When Final Cut for iPad gets plug-in support, watch out. I will like editing with touch, youngsters. I am not one who will eat it up. They haven't so far. There was a thing on Twitter. People were just, look, it's missing 44 features from Final Cut Pro. 44 features. It's not Final Cut Pro. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying I don't like it. First off, I am not getting a new iPad just to run Final Cut on an iPad when I have it on my MacBook Pro. I can run LumaFusion on my old iPad. I can run LumaFusion on my phone. Final Cut, you can't do either one of those. So for people that like it, that's fine. It's not for me, and it's not for a lot of editors. It's never going to compete with the desktop version of Final Cut. Do you think they were waiting for M3 to announce significant updates? I think if they were waiting for M3, they would have announced it at the event, don't you think? They have in the past. What if the only new feature was text editing? Would that be enough to make everyone happy? No, Ben. there's no way that everyone's going to be happy no matter what they add. There's going to be grumpy, curmudgeon-y people who complain. Now, I criticize Final Cut. I have for years when it's justified. I try to be professional. It's commentary about what it is. I'm listed on the Apple Final Cut Pro site 2 times. I'm listed for Final Cut Pro Radio, which is 8 years, 9 years. It's going to be 9 years in January that I've been doing that podcast. And I've been listed for FCPX.TV, which is the longest running Final Cut Pro 10 website. And I base that FCPX.TV on the greatest website for Final Cut Pro ever, which was Ken Stone's website. Now, that was before Final Cut Pro 10. But Ken Stone, I base it on his model. I do lists of things, typically. I accumulate lists of things. X, formerly known as Twitter, yes. I meant they first announced M3 before an FCP unveiling at the summit. Yeah, I think that's very possible. I think, of course, thank you for the thumbs up, man. We got a lot of thumbs up today. A lot of thumbs up today. I think if the Final Cut Pro team had their choice, of course they would want to introduce 10.7 at the Final Cut Pro Creative Summit. That's their event. That is their event. That's the biggest Final Cut Pro worldwide event anywhere. This is the one. Every year, this is the biggest. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It's appreciated. Are you calling me grumpy and curmudgeon-y? Well, maybe, never mind. Well, we all get a bit curmudgeon-y when it takes a long time for Final Cut Pro to get updated. The difference between 10.4 and 10.5 was 3 years. 10.4 to 10.5 was 3 years. What did 10.5 introduce? Apple Silicon Native. What? Now, 10.5 to 10.6 only took 1 year. 10.4 to 10.5 took 3 years. 10.5 to 10.6 only took 1 year. So if you average those out, it's still 2 years between updates. 10.6 came out 2 years ago. 10.7 is due. Let's see. We got a new in-person summit. Like I said, intellectually, I think 10.7 is going to come out. But my expectations are not been raised. They will only be raised by the Final Cut Pro team if they introduce 10.7. Don't you think they should include more free effects in Final Cut Pro like DaVinci have? They got a lot of them, but they probably add some more. I think they added some more a couple versions ago, right? They added some more stuff. Is Apple going to record and post any part of the summit? Apple is not going to record anything. In the past, Future Media has recorded the presentation slides of their presenters, and they made that available for attendees of the Creative Summit. And if you didn't attend the Creative Summit, sometimes they would let you buy a package of those presentations. However, Final Cut TV is going to be broadcasting live from the Creative Summit. I'm not going to be broadcasting the sessions live. I am not going to be broadcasting anything at Apple live because I know that's going to be a big no-no. But when people are in the lobby, hanging around, talking, chatting, I'll start a live stream, talk to people. I want to give you a feeling, for those of you who can't make it, what it's like to be at the summit. But I'll be filming all day. I'll go back to the hotel at night, put some clips together. I'll either come back on live at night or I'll come back live in the morning and show you some clips that are happening. It's going to be behind the scenes kind of stuff. Maybe somebody's setting up for an event, maybe before the crowd gets in. The expo night for sure, I'll stream that live, at least a good part of it. I'll do interviews. I'll be interviewing Hedge and I'll be interviewing Roger from Coremount as well. Let's see what the heck this is. This is this way. There, Roger from Coremount. They're sponsors, so absolutely they'll get interviewed during to let you know what's going on for the best. So I'll be broadcasting live. There might be some recordings of the sessions. I'm going to record a little bit of the sessions just so we have it. It's not for the public, though. It's not what it's for. After the fact, 2 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Thank you for the thumbs up. A lot of thumbs up today. Greetings from Denmark. Oh, the wacky, wacky world of Apple app development. Absolutely, it is wacky. The summit is an FMC thing, not an Apple thing. Apple allows them a day out of courtesy. This year, Apple is working with FMC. It's in cooperation with Apple. That's part of the reason that the price is low, from $1,000 to $299. It's been subsidized by Apple. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It's been subsidized by Apple and some of the other sponsors. Thanks, Richard. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to start the broadcast. Start live streaming. I already got a playlist up over there on my YouTube channel. It's FCP Summit 2023. Tomorrow before lunch, tomorrow mid-morning, I'll come on and do a live stream from the airport. I'll be doing it from the airport just to touch base. I want to touch base with people and let people know. So was 1K before? Did I pay that much to go to those? Really? Yes. It was $900 and some dollars, $995. It's close to 1K. That's exactly correct because they weren't subsidized as much. I think, Future Media conferences said, look, if you want us to do this summit, we need some help financially. We got to get subsidized. So yeah, Apple and some of the other sponsors. What are the other main sponsor? NAB was the other main sponsor. So Apple, NAB, and Future Media Concepts brought the price down to $299. It's a great price. Now you still got to get a hotel, unless you live locally. You still got to get transportation. You still got to take off work. So all those other things cost a lot of money. Is there any scuttlebutt about the number of Final Cut Pro for iPad subscriptions? Apple needs to come to their senses and sell the app. Absolutely. People can choose to pay for updates. Absolutely. If they sold the app, I would probably have it, even though I don't have an iPad that can run it, and I'm not in the market for an iPad. I'm in the market for an M3 Mac, but I think I'm going to wait for the M3 Studio because I don't need another laptop. This laptop is running very, very well, and this is the only thing I need when I travel, like to the Creative Summit. It works very, very well. I have an M1 Max, completely loaded, except I have a 4 terabyte SSD, not an 8. I don't need an 8 terabyte SSD. I might like to have it if I had the cash, but 4 terabytes been working fine for me. I don't know the iPad numbers. I just don't think it's doing that great for them. I just don't think so. I think, everybody talked about it when it came out. It's missing 44 features. It's nothing wrong with it, okay? That's not what I'm saying. I think the app is fine. Let me just show you this. Now, this is, I haven't updated this for a while. Feature parity checklist, Final Cut Pro versus Final Cut for iPad. Differences between Final Cut Pro for the iPad. The list will be updated. I haven't updated for a long time. Missing features, Final Cut for iPad. No editing off external drive. Subscription only. No white balance. No stabilization, no color board, color wheels, color curves, use saturation curves. One scope at a time, no multiple scopes, no audio sub-rolls, and only 3 audio rolls, only 1 video roll, no optimized media, blah, 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 blah. 44, the last, no, there's 40 there. I guess there's 40 the last time I checked. It's definitely not Final Cut Pro for the Mac. We call it Final Cut Junior. That's not really a slur on it. It's a fine application. If you want to edit on it, please, that's completely fine. I don't like the iPad for serious anything. I read books at night, watch some videos once in a while. I like my MacBook Pro tons better. So for me, buying an app just to use the iPad version, no. I have LumaFusion. I paid a one-time price. I have that, which is a fantastic, fantastic NLE for the iPad. And my phone. I can edit LumaFusion on my phone, which I'll be doing a lot of. So nothing wrong with it. It's completely fine. I don't support the subscription model at all, even though it's only $4.99 a month. That's the one good thing about it. If I wanted to use it, if I had an iPad, I wanted to try it out. I know it has a free version. The good thing is $4.99 a month is reasonable. I could pay $4.99 for 1 month, quit the subscription, come back to it 2 or 3 months later, and pay $4.99 again. That is very, very cool. That's a good way to do a subscription version. So don't cram subscriptions down our throat. Don't cram subscriptions down our throat. Give us an option. If you want the subscription, that's fine. It's also nice to hear when people who do use Final Cut Pro way more than interns that I say they do not need to upgrade their notebook because their current is fast enough for work on the road. Yeah. Well, I have the M1 Max, 54 gigabytes of memory, RAM, 4 terabyte SSD, and the top of the line CPU and top of the line GPU. This is running fantastically. Now, one thing I like about the MacBook, I have 2 screens. Let me just show you my big screen. I'll pull that up. Let me hide this. So this is my big screen. Let me pull that up. This is my big screen. This is a 34-inch LG monitor. I have a lot of real estate, as you can see. My audio is right here below me. I can keep track of my monitor. I have all these other windows, and I really, really like this 34-inch LG monitor. Right below me is my MacBook Pro. You can't see it, but my MacBook Pro screen. So I can look at all this stuff, and I can have separate applications running on the MacBook Pro screen. I just look down and see it down there. To my right, whatever that is for you, I have another screen with a lot of information. So I really like having the MacBook Pro screen right below my main screen. I really, really like that. Let me go back there and turn that off. So when I have that live demo up, I get a red circle around my screen. Let me know it's still in live demo. I am now using an M2 Max 16-inch MacBook Pro, 64 gigabyte. It makes editing with Final Cut Pro like skating on fresh ice, blazing fast and smooth. Ben says, what model is that wide monitor? Love it. I'm looking for a new one. It is a 34-inch LG, Ben, and it's Thunderbolt 2. Thunderbolt 2. I bought this when I had a 27-inch iMac for an extension. That's how long this is. I've had it for years, and it works great. But I go on Amazon and check the reviews or other places, but the LG line is fantastic. This is 34. I'm sure they have the Thunderbolt version now. This is USB 2. USB 2, so it's quite old. It's been running great. It wasn't that expensive, under $1,000 if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not, I was going to get a bigger one. I'm not, because a lot of times I shrink the Final Cut Pro interface so it's in the middle of the screen, because I can't quite see all the way over there to the inspector if it's over there. It's too far away. I have to adjust my glasses. So now I bring everything in closer when I'm looking at the screen. Is anyone using Final Cut on an iPad with a subscription? I'm sure Apple isn't making much money with Final Cut Pro on an iPad. Maybe less than 500 people subscribe. I think there's more. I think there's probably more than 500. But, you know, I saw somebody asked on Twitter if anybody's using it. Boy, the majority of posts were negative. The subscription was a problem. The missing features from Final Cut was a problem. All these problems. I can't see how it ever reaches feature parity with Final Cut on the Mac. Final Cut, the Macs are much more powerful. They're not much more, but they're more powerful than iPads. Mac OS, I like a lot better than iOS. So the incentive for me to use Final Cut on the iPad is just not there. Nothing wrong with it. I like it. I like that they brought it out. For a subscription model, the $4.99 a month is reasonable. Apple TV, I get it for 1 month, and when it gets close to the time to subscribe, I cancel, but you can continue to use it until your subscription cancels. You don't have to worry about forgetting it. Would you recommend a widescreen for single monitor setup? I've heard mixed advice from folks. Yeah, I got to have a big monitor for other things besides, you mean for editing? Yes, I like it, but I still have a tendency to pull it in. Even Logic now, you know, Logic has a scrolling timeline, so the playhead's in the center. And my vision needs help when it goes to the edges of the screen. Things are blurry over there, so I have a tendency to shrink things down. So, but I know I wouldn't go any less than 34. I like it, and I like it long. I like it that it's wide. I wish it was a little bit taller, but that's fine. That's fine. But I have 3 screens. I can look over there, and So yeah, I recommend a big one for. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. We got 41 thumbs up so far. I don't know if they're all. Are they all on YouTube? No, they're not on YouTube. They're just for the broadcast. I guess a lot of them are on Facebook. 41. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let me pull that. Let me see where graphics are. Graphics. Here we go. Shot on iPhone. Well, we know that. Where is that one? Huh. That's weird. So here is, I just pulled this off the screen. 41 thumbs up. That's excellent. Now it's 42. Now it's 42. Fantastic. Fantastic. It's great stuff. So, is anybody who's going to the Creative Summit? And if you're not going, are you still excited for everybody? I mean, this is the biggest Final Cut Pro event in the world. This is the biggest. At 63, I need larger monitors so I can make the text big enough to read. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had to have big text. That's one of the things I wish that Resolve had, was the ability to adjust the text larger. Right now, the text is too small a lot of places. So, is that a Strat in the back? We need a performance video from you. Did you miss the beginning? You missed the beginning of the broadcast. You missed the beginning of the broadcast. That is my 73 Strat. This is my baby. This one here is my 69 Strat. This is my baby, 69 Strat. I love it. I've been playing guitar since I was in single digits. So to answer your question, what's your favorite band? What's your favorite band? I have most of my favorite bands were probably 60s garage kind of bands. I'm a big Stones fan, the Beatles, of course, The Who, The Doors, Cream. I love Eric Clapton. I have a podcast. I've been podcasting since 6 months after podcasting started. Before it was in iTunes, I started a podcast called Roots Rock Radio, and I featured original bands doing roots rock music. A lot of those, dozens and for years I did that. It's still, I don't do it that often, maybe once or twice a year now, because it's kind of a pain doing music. I'm from Singapore, so I can't, but I'm excited and hoping a new update, but I hope you enjoy. I'm going to enjoy the Creative Summit regardless of any update to Final Cut Pro. I'm just going to enjoy it. Friends, people, Final Cut Pro family. Philip Hodgetts calls it the Final Cut Pro Annual Family Reunion, and that's exactly what it is. I'm excited, but probably will be disappointed. I'm not going there, though. So here's the thing. My expectations are down here. I'm not going to be disappointed. No matter what happens, I'm not going to be disappointed. But I can get my expectations raised. That's what I'm hoping for. Thank you, thank you. Loved it, did miss the beginning. I will rewatch that later. Do you have a schedule for your order reports or just when you have the time? I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to start at the airport tomorrow. And just because I want to touch base, I have 2 hours wait. When I get back to the hotel, I'll do like a walkthrough of the lobby of the hotel. When I get to the place where the presentations are, I will do a walkthrough. There's going to be people in these places. So typically, I'll probably do one in the morning, try to do one during lunch break. It just depends. I'll certainly do one. When I was at NAB last time, I found I have the most energy when I wake up. I wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower, drink coffee, a lot of energy, and I'm an early riser. Then I'm more likely to get together and do a live stream with clips from the day before, some clips. But I'm going to do short live streams from the lobbies, talk to people. Expo night for sure, that's going to be one. That's on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, we get a Q&A at the Final Cut Pro team. And Monday night, there's nothing after we go to Apple, nothing scheduled, but obviously all the Final Cut Pro people are together. We'll get together and do some stuff. That's why we have a private Facebook group just for attendees of the 2023 Final Cut Pro Creative Summit, so we can schedule some of these things. When is it going to take place and where? It's going to take place on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week in Cupertino and Santa Clara, California. Cupertino and Santa Clara, California. That's where it's going to take place. We've been talking about it for 4 or 5 months, 6 months, something like that. So it's finally here. We were hoping. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. Lots of thumbs up there. Lots of thumbs up. 43. That's great. Window. Let me see if I can capture that window. Yep, captured it. Good. That's what we like. All right. I have to do some more packing. My name's Richard Taylor, if you don't know. I got to do some more packing. Don't forget, buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/Richard Taylor. buy me a coffee for helping bringing the Creative Summit to your door. It's good to do that. It makes me feel better. Somebody buys me a coffee, shows your monetary appreciation of what I'm doing. That's nice. It's a little extra nice touch. I got my sponsors, Coremount, Future Media Concepts, and FMC. They're my main sponsors. But viewers, watchers can buy a coffee. I'm not going to use it all for coffee, but I'll buy coffee for it first. Good luck and enjoy the summit, absolutely. Good luck to all of us. Good luck and enjoy the summit. Thanks, buddy. Have a fun and safe trip, absolutely. If we get a new update, will it be on Monday or the last day of the event? It'll probably be Monday, maybe Tuesday. They might announce it for Tuesday. We'll know Monday afternoon, but I would presume once they announce it, it's going to be available. So look for it if it happens on Monday. Thanks, Richard. Enjoy the summit. Absolutely. I thank you. Thank you very much. You are the best audience. I have the best Final Cut Pro live stream audience of anybody. I have the best live stream of anybody. You are the best. You're the reason I come out here, because you show up and you do all the interaction and stuff. I don't have 20 people on screen. Everybody's vying for attention and everybody's shouting their opinions about everything. No, it's you and me. I talk, you respond, you get to talk on these, not 20 people. Oh, this and that, and people talking over each other and stuff. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. It is appreciated. We got 44 thumbs up today. That's fantastic. Fantastic. I appreciate it. So I'm going to come back on tomorrow. Go over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel, or go to the Facebook group, or Twitter. I'm on Twitter too, Richard Taylor TV, everywhere Richard Taylor TV. And I'm going to get out of here for today. I will talk to you tomorrow before noon from the airport. I'll start up a live stream. Hopefully, things will be, hopefully that'll be the case. That's what I'm planning on. All these great comments. See, you people are the best. You people are the best, absolutely the best. Absolutely the best. Follow along, Final Cut TV over there for the Creative Summit. All right? Do that. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later.